So, you go on a camping trip, and you are out there with your friends and your loved ones, and then you're like, all right, cool, I gotta step away. We've been having some drinks tonight. It was a really nice dinner. You step away. The sun's just starting to set, still light out, and you're like, I gotta relieve myself. So you go off a ways away from the rest of the group, and you relieve yourself, zip everything up, redo your belt buckle, start heading back to the camp, and then you come face to face with a grizzly bear. What do you do?
I'm on my way back.
Yeah.
And I'm face to face. It's in between me and my campground.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
Indeed.
That's a big issue.
Remember, grizzly bears run up to 35 miles an hour, and they can climb trees.
Yeah, it's superhumans. I got it. Well aware. Fuck. I don't know. What are you supposed? I don't know actual grizzly bear protocol.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're
either.
supposed like with certain bears, you're supposed to make yourself big and loud. But I think with grizzly bears, you're supposed to lay on the ground.
I think it's the fetal position. Yeah.
I think you're supposed to protect your head and neck.
Yeah. Because as we well know, one swipe and you could be decapitated.
If you're a horse, yeah. Don't put your arm out. That thing's long gone. Airmail.
I've long been known to identify as a horse.
I'm pretty sure.
Your response. You got a problem with me identifying as a horse? It's 2024.
I got a couple problems.
You fucking prick.
I'm pretty sure that might be grizzly bear protocol.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think if you're facing one, I think you're supposed to go fetal position.
Let's
You
see,
definitely
really
are not supposed to run. If anything, you're supposed to not make eye contact and back away.
What do you do when you come upon?
It's either not make eye contact and back away, or get in the fetal position and cover your head and neck. I think.
Grizzly bear. If the bear is stationary, move away slowly and sideways. This allows you to keep an eye on the bear and avoid tripping. Moving sideways is also non-threatening to bears. Do not run. But if the bear follows, stop and hold your ground. Just says bear, doesn't say.
Yeah, you're supposed to yell. I've seen guys yell at them too, though. They come charging and you're supposed to like charge back and yell and be aggressive.
If you see a bear before it notices you, stand still, don't approach it, and movement quietly in the opposite direction. What happens if a grizzly bear sees you? Bears will sometimes do a bluff charge, which means they'll suddenly come to a stop. If a grizzly bear is about to make contact with you, get on the ground immediately and lie on your stomach. Keep your pack on. I'm assuming they're assuming that you're wearing a
fucking hope you have a backpack on.
Backpack on for extra protection, and fold your arms over your neck and head, keeping your elbows on the ground. That is fucking terrifying, because you know what that's like? That is like duck and cover for a nuclear bomb. It's like, cool. There's nothing else you can do. Just lie on the ground and hope for the best.
Take it.
Fuck that shit.
This is some Revenant shit right there. That's what that.
Yeah, that is exactly what that is.
I've seen those videos of grizzlies like running at guys in Alaska, and they obviously have like a 357 in their hand, but they put their arms up and yell at it. And they're like, "Hey bear, hey bear!" And they scream and charge at it, and it does that bluff thing, turns and runs. But I mean, if it doesn't turn and run, and you don't have a 357 in your hand, if you don't have
a gun, I feel
like your best bet is to lay down.
That's insane.
And cover your head and neck with your elbows on the ground, and just be Leonardo DiCaprio and just get thrown like a rag doll and hope for the best. I remember watching that movie and just being like, I don't want to go outside of society.
Never ever. Well,
So, that's my game plan.
So
if I have a big, huge caliber pistol, I'm so big and strong, and if I don't, I'll
fetal position it.
Die.
Yeah. Well, here's to putting your head between your legs and kissing your ass goodbye.
Yeah, at least your ass. If it's only my ass, I feel like I'd be pretty happy, honestly.
You don't have an ass to begin with.
That's rude. Whoo! Grizzly Bear would love to eat this ass. How dare you?
Grizzly Bear's the only one who's eating your ass.
Okay. That's a great ass. That's rude. It's nice.
It's a tequila talking. Welcome back to the Jony Jawscast. I am one of your hosts, Johnny Horror, and with me, Brian with a great ass Calvert.
I like that intro. New intro. Wiping everything from the past. All of it. All of it. All of it. That's our new intro.
Fine.
Yeah.
Makes you happy. And you're
Now we're talking.
so unhappy that, I'm okay with it.
I like it.
We are continuing our discussion of 1976's Grizzly, a film about a rather large grizzly bear, slightly prehistoric.
Yeah, it's
like
a million years old.
It is a 1,000,000-year-old bear that somehow survived and is going around killing campers and college co-eds simply because it likes the taste of man flesh.
Yes.
And is in no way, shape, or form a ripoff of Jaws. In our previous episode, we gave a brief summary of the film. Brian did his best bad breakdown, and by Brian, I mean me.
Yeah, baby.
And we discussed the things we liked about the film, the things we didn't like about the film, and how the film took some major inspirations from our namesake Jaws. But we just wrapped up having some dinner at the Brody's, and as is par for the course, after dinner we like to have ourselves a nightcap or 7. So we are gonna head on down to the Amity Bar. So here at the Amity Bar, we just tried to decide what alcoholic beverage pairs best with the film that we are discussing. Both Brian and I have done some bartending in our days. I am still a bartender. Brian has moved on to greener pastures and
Hardly.
works a proper job, and I still have to suck the man's dick every day.
I miss bartending. I don't miss sucking dick. But
Yeah, actually, I should really be fair. I don't have to suck that much dick. I have a pretty good job, and I'm
it's
very
just
happy.
a little bit of dick.
Just the right amount of dick sucking.
There's a gray zone, you know?
Right? Yeah, totally.
Not too
Just
much dick.
Just like the proper.
You're doing great. You're good at it. You're good.
I'm good at what? Hosting a podcast, or sucking dick, or bartending, or all three. I'll.
Good little dick sucker. Good boy.
I tell myself every day before I go in there, like I walk into the bathroom at work, I'm like, you can do this. You can do this. Suck that dick. I just picture fucking. Oh God. So what's his name from Foxcatcher when he's just like fucking like.
Oh God.
In the mirror.
Oh God.
Channing Tatum. Fuck! Jesus Christ. You can tell we've already had several drinks before we got to the Amity Bar. Brian, what is the beverage that you would pair with Grizzly Bear?
Alright, I came up with two.
That's so much more work than I did.
One authentic, one I actually kind of researched.
Yes, please.
Which one would you like first?
I think... surprise me. I'm.
Let's go. I'm gonna go research.
Okay, cool.
I was searching all sorts of keywords, and I'm like bear, grizzly bear, cocktails, things like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, weird shit came up. So there is a grizzly bear cocktail. It's weird. It's a potent but smooth blend of amaretto. Jaeger, Kahlua,
oh no,
and milk, served up.
What? How the fuck do they? Is it a build? Look at that. That shit's fucking layered.
It's like a foamy, rich. It's
Dude,
shaken.
That's impressive.
It's a shaken blended cocktail.
Wow, like look at that. There's fucking layers to that. That's what do you shake each thing and then like pour it? Do you think?
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
That could be pretty dope. I like that.
Amaretto is a what? Almond liqueur.
Yeah.
Almond liqueur.
Almond liqueur is really good. Have you ever had?
It's a potent bitch though.
No,
yeah, I've had it.
The
but
worst.
It's like,
the worst.
No, I don't mean alcohol potent. I mean like flavor potent.
It tastes really nice, actually.
Yeah.
It's strong, but like the worst part of that would be the Jägermeister for me, I think.
Yeah.
I think
Jaeger, Kahlua, and
because
milk.
Kahlua, amaretto, and milk would go together very, very well. I do not know how Jaeger would fit into
It's like almost a really fancy White Russian.
It borders on like some of those like B-52 like sort of like
That's
coffee
true.
cocktails. Just
Right,
because
right.
those have those layers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, I would absolutely fucking try one.
Oh, yeah.
It does sound pretty good. Like the only thing that gives me pause is the Jaeger, but like if you served me that drink and it looked like that, I would fucking totally get down on it. And it's called what? The bear? What?
The grizzly bear.
The grizzly bear, even better. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's how I found it. I was like, God damn, it actually is like conflictingly sounds kind of appetizing.
Yeah, I mean, it's equal parts intriguing and scary, not unlike a bear. So, there you go.
That was my research cocktail. My movie cocktail was an ice cold pull tab Schlitz beer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah. It's in the movie.
It's
Somebody's drinking it.
Yeah.
And it's great, man. I would kill to have an authentic pull tab beer.
Yeah.
In our day and age. But a freshly made can correctly pull tab beer.
So you're a little bit
great.
Tuned in with some of those more like for lack of a better word, like homebody breweries and stuff like that. Is anybody doing anything like that you're aware of?
Not that I know of. No one's doing pull tabs. I don't even know if they manufacture them anymore.
I feel like that's something that's so retro that it could easily be making a comeback, you know, because people dig shit like that, you know?
It should, because it's so cool.
I'm really surprised that fucking, what is it? Yeah, Narragansett has not done like one of those pull tabs.
I don't know if Narragansett's still... They're... What was it? They had a thing. Like, someone supported them, like, rebrewing. They were almost out of business, wasn't it?
I mean, I'm sure they were.
I think...
But I mean, like,
they're
clearly still in business because of Jaws.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe that wasn't it. But, man, what a marketing ploy to reinsert life into that brand, let alone. But, I don't know what that type of stuff costs, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, pop tabs.
Yeah, but even for, like, a really cool, like, special sort of, like, limited edition
thing. A pull tab?
That would be boss, man.
In this day, in 2024, I would kill to have a pull tab
always, like,
beer.
Like, it always threw me, that scene in Jaws where Quint pulls it off. I'm like, what did he just do?
That's a beer.
Yeah, like, I always thought he just, like, cracked it and then just, like, ripped off.
Fucking soup can.
Yeah. Gnarly.
And that's the thing, is, like, that was the consistency.
Yeah, the like...
crushing a can was not that easy.
Can of Campbell's soup, basically, is what that would be like. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a different type of pull tab, but it was like, you rip that thing off, and it's like holding a pint, basically. And you just drink the can. Instead of having, like, a pop tab. It was you rip the whole thing off. It's so cool.
I would kick my kid in the balls to have one of those.
It's aggressive, but...
It's alright. He does it to me, like, every day. It's fine.
He stepped on mine earlier.
Yeah, he stepped on yours. He jumped on mine.
I'd kick you in the balls. I would pull tab beer.
Yeah, you kick me in the balls just for the shits of it.
I'd kick you in the balls for a fucking Coors Light.
You fucking love Coors Light more than you love me. That's not even fair.
That's not accurate. I would choose you over Coors Light, but not Lone Star.
That's fair.
Pick your battles.
Thanks, man.
I got you, boo.
So, I would choose a black and tan for this.
Ooh!
This movie.
Damn! That's a good choice.
I think, there's...
pisses me off because I love black and tans. I didn't think
Black and tans are a lot of fun to drink. They are a bitch to pour.
I've never had to make one.
People ask for them from time to time at work. I'm like, fuck, man.
But do you have Guinness on tap?
We have Guinness in a bottle, but like the shit that we have on tap, like there's a weird, like you have to have the right beer for the right consistency for that. And we just do not, like our light beer is not the right consistency for, so it is a fucking struggle.
I'm so curious now.
I have to use a double strainer, like the one that's like the net, basically.
Yeah.
And I have to do a spoon. So you're pouring on the spoon, you're pouring the Guinness on the spoon, and I had to do it like so fucking slow, and it still bleeds. It still bleeds pretty heavy because it's like the consistency of the light beer, or
because you need a Guinness on tap.
You need Guinness on tap is
with a spoon,
good, and
you need it with a spoon
also,
no matter what.
Yes, and there are also there's a specific type of beer that you're supposed to do for the lighter end, and I don't know what it is off the top of my head. We just don't have that.
See, this is why I'm curious, because like we go to Dargan's for like random like date nights, and that's my go-to is like a black and tan. I get it with a pale ale or like whatever it is, or like harp's ale, because I'm like, that's my go-to, and it's always like a clean cut, but they have like 10 options of their black and tans. There's like the snake bite with like a cider and this and this and this. But I always assumed it was because they have Guinness on tap at Target.
I imagine
they can put anything underneath it.
I imagine that helps significantly just because the way Guinness pours on tap is so much different than a pours from a fucking bottle. Even if we had Guinness in a can, I think it might be a little
right.
But
so curious
it is a little bit of a chore.
What a pain in the
I
ass.
will tell you that one time that I got it really fucking good, like I got it damn near perfect. There was only a little bit of a bleed. I handed it off to the guy at the bar. The motherfucker, the very first thing he did was took a spoon and stirred it. I fucking damn near walked out the restaurant.
Why even order it?
Yeah, I don't even know. Just to piss me off. All that said, I think there's a number of things to enjoy from a black and tan.
Yes, that is a good call. That's a good cocktail for this movie.
I think it's a tasty beverage. I think it's probably one of the most exciting
one of my
beers
favorite
you can get at any place that offers it. Remember the first time I had one, I thought it was so fucking good.
It's like your first time having an Irish car bomb.
Yeah. Yeah, God, that's a whole other story right there.
All right, that's a little off kilter, but you get the idea.
But something about like the layers, you know, like kind of like how a bear has like, you know, the darker and maybe like a little bit of a lighter
you nailed
underbelly
it.
and all
I like that a lot.
Yeah. And if I wasn't gonna have that, then it would just be a glass of liquored down ice cubes to chew on.
I was son of a bitch. You dirty bitch. I thought about it. I was like, what's a shot of bourbon in a lot of ice cubes sound like on written paper? And I'm like, no, I want to go camper style. I'm gonna go pull tab Schlitz beer.
And I love that. I'm a big fan of that. And I love your cocktail pull too.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, that was the thing that kept on coming back to. I was like, that motherfucker was drinking bourbon on the rocks. I guarantee it. And his ice cubes are just like watered down, like early times.
Yes.
Ice cubes. Just shitty fucking bourbon.
Yeah.
You know that he gets to drink for free, but he drinks the shit.
Yeah, he's freaking well wrapped.
That's the only thing he gets for free.
Ugh.
Well, I think that this is probably the best experience we've had at the Amity Bar because we're both very proud of all 4 of the drinks we get.
Oh yeah!
Together. So that's new.
Look at us! Look at us!
Wow!
Who'd have thought?
Not me. And on that note, it's time to head down the pathway and probably get even more fucked up down at Quint's shack. Here at Quint's shack, we discuss who is the better great white hunter. We have Sam Quint, fisherman by trade, who has killed many a shark in his day, survived the USS Indianapolis sinking and the subsequent shark attacks and hypothermia that killed a good chunk of his crewmates. And then we have Don. I feel like he has a last name, but it's not listed here on IMDb. Don Helicopter. Maybe it's here on Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure it's Don Helicopter.
Don Stober.
That was close.
A Vietnam veteran and helicopter pilot.
Interesting.
Who fills the Sam Quint role. Which of these 2 gentlemen do you think is the superior great white hunter?
Yeah, gonna go with the OG probably.
Yeah.
Don he had a rough go. He's a good Good, hard Vietnam vet, but
he's also not a hunter. He's also not a hunter.
No, he's a pilot.
Yeah, that is like the one thing. Like even when I was listening to Joe Bob, I feel like I got, oddly enough, I got Scotty and Don kind of like mixed up when I first watched it.
Yes,
because I feel like Scotty does almost. He's got that gruffness to him.
He's almost
that
both. I got it mixed up a lot too. I had the exact same feeling.
Very much like he is a little bit of Quint and Hooper together. Yeah.
Because he's like, I'm the mountain man, but I'm also like the naturalist. Like, I studied it. Like the science.
He's got a bit of both for sure, yeah.
Whereas he's just the pilot.
He has the vehicle that takes him from point A to point B, and is, obviously
has the gruff.
A veteran and has the gruff as well, but
it doesn't have that edge to him of like the knowledge of the beast, which is tricky.
Yeah, I will say that, as we mentioned before,
Good point.
in our previous episode, that Dawn does make a conscious effort at a last stand where Quint does not really get that opportunity. It is more like he's, gets his legs, pulled out from under him for no pun intended. But that he's more, Quint has to kind of deal with the circumstances that are given to him, rather, or Dawn almost kind of like is like, all right, I'm just gonna go for this. Like I'm gonna give it my best go.
I mean, you played the game where hypothetically the boat stays afloat and Quint gives it his best opportunity to hunt that shark.
Yeah.
With his tools and his knowledge, I feel like he's got it.
I mean,
or he's gonna have a good fucking chance.
The thing is that at that stage in the game, like the boat's sinking.
Yeah.
Quint has given it his best go. That's the
true.
Only reason.
That's very true.
That is the only reason he turns it over to Hooper, because he's like, we're going down, and I've kind of exhausted all of my options, so I'll turn it over to you because
that's very true.
We're fucked basically.
Yeah.
But Quint does a good amount of hunting.
Yeah.
Throughout that, last act of the film.
Oh, hell yeah.
He does do, like any other shark, he would have killed it.
Yep.
He would have killed it by then. He even says that there's no way that 3 barrels can keep him down.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is just not ordinary shark.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like the character of Dawn is someone who is helping out just because he's got the fucking helicopter and he almost feels obligated, because I think
absolutely
he likes he's a fan or a friend of Kelly, like at that point where he just feels obligated to chip in, because there's really no reason. He's not a part of
He's an old Vietnam vet.
Yeah, he just has the fucking helicopter.
He needs something to do.
Yeah. So
this is the purpose, Like,
yeah, I agree. So
he's doing this thing.
At the end of the day, obviously, the one who's doing the hunting and probably has the most success in those terms is probably Quint for me as well.
Absolutely.
Is there ever going to come a day when Quint does not win this category?
Maybe.
We'll see. You never know.
Alligators down the road. You never know.
I just rewatched Alligator, and trust me, the great white hunter in that is a bitch by comparison. Well,
not a spoiler by any means. He's
no.
Hero. You'll see.
We'll get there in probably like 6 months. But until then, we had a couple of shots of Quint's homemade liquor, and we're in no means in any shape to head home, so we might as well head out to sea.
That's right.
So here at Out to Sea, we are going to do a little bit of behind the scenes. And all this will be pulled from Wikipedia, as is par for the course here on the Jony Jawscast. Because as I've said many a time before, we don't do any research because we don't get paid to do any research.
That's right.
You know, we just like to fly by the seat of our pants. So, Brian, why don't you take production and let us know how this movie got made.
All right, so the idea for Grizzly began when the film's producer and writer, Harvey Flaxman, encountered a bear during a family camping trip. Co-producer and co-writer David Sheldon thought the idea would make a good film following the success of Jaws. Interesting. Girdler discovered the script on Sheldon's desk and offered to find financing as long as he could direct the film. Within a week, Girdler was able to obtain $750,000 in financing from whatever Ventures International movie distribution company. Grizzly was filmed on location in Clayton, Georgia, with many local residents cast in supporting roles.
Explain a lot.
Catherine Rickman, who played one of the first victims, was actually the daughter of Clayton's mountain man, Frank Rickman. Though unintentionally, the casting of George Prine and Jekyll marked the second time.
So these are our three leads.
Oh, okay.
George, Prine, and Jekyll.
Marked the second time this trio of actors starred together in the same film. They had previously played supporting roles in the Western Chisholm, 1970, starring John Wayne. A Kodiak bear nicknamed Teddy performed as a killer grizzly bear. Teddy was 11 feet tall and was the largest bear in captivity at the time. The bear was rented from the Olympic Game Ranch in Sequim, Washington, where he was kept behind an electric fence. The crew was protected from the bear by a piece of green string running through the shooting locations and a ticking kitchen timer. This resembled, to the bear, an electric fence. Actors and crew members were instructed to always stay on the camera side of the string. The bear did not actually roar, so it was tricked into making the motions of roaring by throwing several marshmallows into its mouth and then holding a final marshmallow in front of its face, but not throwing it. The bear would stretch for it. The sound was artificially produced. The original artwork for the Grizzly film poster was created by popular comic book artist Neil Adams. Gotta look that up. The film featured the role of the female park ranger played by Victoria Lynn Johnson, who would go on to becoming the August 1976 Penthouse magazine Pet of the Month and the 1977 Pet of the Year, appearing in Smokey and the Bandit, as well as Angie Dickinson's nude body double in Brian De Palma's 1980 thriller Dressed to Kill. A movie tie-in novelization by Will Collins, a pseudonym by Edwin Corley, was published in 1976 by Pyramid Books and accompanied by the film's release.
I'd like to read that.
Yeah. So there you have it. Wow. A lot of marshmallows.
I love that. I can totally see it now. Every one of those clips with the birds like,
yeah, makes a lot more sense.
Seeing so many marshmallows just being thrown off screen.
Makes so much more sense. Oh my god.
I am pretty curious how they got the sound for the bear, because it doesn't sound like really any other bear that
it doesn't sound like a bear at all
on screen. I wonder how they kind of came up with those sound effects. All right, here we go. Reception. Critical reception for Grizzly in 1976 was extremely negative, with most critics criticizing the film for being too similar to, wait for it, Steven Spielberg's thriller Jaws. Vincent Canby from the New York Times criticizes the film's poor plotting, cinematography, and editing. He wrote, Grizzly, which opened with yesterday at the Rivoli and other theaters, is such a blatant imitation of Jaws that one has to admire the depth of its flattery it represents, though not the lack of talent involved. I feel like that is our general consensus of this film, right?
No, please continue.
Okay, I'll keep going. Let's beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
Donald Garisco, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that, from AllMovie gave the film a negative review, criticizing the film's script, cheap gore, and overuse of cliches, and saying this energetic but clumsy horror effort is too contrived and poorly realized to be worthwhile for most viewers. Film critic Leonard Martin awarded the film 2 out of 4 stars, calling it an okay Jaws ripoff. Despite the negative reviews, Grizzly was the top-grossing independent film of 1976, earning nearly $38 million worldwide, and held the record until Halloween was released 2 years later in 1978.
Damn.
The film's executive producer, Edward L. Montoro, president of Film Ventures International, distributed the film in the U.S. and Canada and sold the worldwide distribution rights to Columbia Pictures for $1.5 million. Montoro later tried to keep the profits to himself instead of paying the film's director, William Girdle, and producer and writers, David Shelton and Harvey Flaxman. The three sued Montoro, and he was eventually ordered by the Los Angeles County Superior Court to pay Gilder, Sheldon, and Flaxman for their share of the profits from the distribution of the film. God, what a fucking dick. What a fucking dick.
God.
How could you do that to people, man? That's insane to me.
He was the director?
This is the executive producer.
Oh, okay. What the fuck?
The director and the writers sued him.
Yeah. Yeah.
The original music score by Robert Orr Raglan has since been largely well received. Odd. Raglan commissioned the National Philharmonic Orchestra for the film's theme. The original soundtrack was finally released on CD and MP3 in September of 2018. Were we still releasing CDs and MP3s back then? On the film review website Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds 44% based on 9 reviews with an average of 4.6 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, none of this surprises me. Like I said, like when I talked to you about it off mic, it was like, you're like, how does this movie make this much money, be this successful?
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, I just feel like at the time people were not as tuned into something that was just like such a direct ripoff, with the exception of critics.
Yeah.
Critics were probably aware, and fans were probably like, hey, we just want more big things eating people. Yep. Which, like, hey, guess what? That's why we're doing this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
You know, in those terms, like, I just think people either had too much other shit to notice or didn't even care, you know, that this is just such a blatant ripoff. But obviously the critics were very much aware of what was going on there.
Damn.
So well, I think that'll probably wrap it up for behind the scenes bullshit. I think it's time that we head on over to our next section, which we have cleverly titled Bigger Boat. here in this section, we just discuss whether or not we would rather face the shark from Jaws or the grizzly bear from Grizzly. While we've kind of discussed this vaguely, it was a little bit more undefined in our first episode where I asked you, would you rather face a great white or a grizzly? That is in this world, in this universe, the realistic world. Now, what we're talking is, do you want to face the grizzly in that film or the shark in Jaws? In which case, I'm going to go first. Please fucking decapitate me with one swing. Just kill me, you damn grizzly bear.
Obviously.
Never in a million years.
Yes.
We talked about this. We talked about to no end.
There's
Fuck that
way.
shark. Fuck that fucking shark.
Yeah. There's no way.
No.
Best case scenario, you lose a limb. Or you just get bitch slapped and you end up in a very shallow grave, which you now know.
Do not move.
Stay in that grave.
Stay there.
And let it go somewhere else. Because
Yeah.
you know it's going to come back. But let it actually go somewhere else. And then you fucking get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna beat the shit, but man up and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Don't immediately wake up, stir around while it's still there, and get eaten.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, no, it's grizzly bear all
Yeah,
day.
1,000%.
It's grizzly all day.
God, that was a really short category.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. It's... You want to float around and get eaten? Or you want to run around and try to not get eaten?
Just think about the sequence where Hooper goes down in the cage. Like, can you imagine?
No.
Can you fucking fathom that fucking beast coming at you repeatedly?
No.
You're like trying to stab it with like a little fucking chintzy little knife.
And your survival depends on you getting out and hiding and hoping it leaves far enough for your air for you to go up to a vessel that also doesn't suffice.
Yeah, God. That I want
like,
a movie.
it's all bad. It's
I
all
want
bad.
a movie about that 10 minutes of Hooper underneath the water just waiting that shit out. Like I would love to see it like a 30-minute
Instagram
short of that play out.
Yeah.
So much.
Just in the coral, hiding from that shark.
Make it happen, internet. But until then, we are gonna head on over to our very, very fancy awards ceremony. So, here at the Yellow Barrel Awards, we're going to hand out some of our favorites and some of our bests. And we are going to start with the Doll's Eyes Award, which is the best kill or our favorite kill.
Ooh.
So, B-Rye, what do you got for me, buddy?
I have two.
You got two?
I have two.
Very nice. All right, we'll start with one, and then let me go, just in case we can double up. Yeah?
All right, I'll start with the first one. It's going to be the waterfall girl and her skivvies kill.
Yeah?
That's great. It's got to be just, I don't know, it's fun, but like...
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It's like a fun, stupid peek of the movie.
Yeah, well, you get the her screaming and like being pulled from the waterfall by this obscenely
under a waterfall,
large, this just massive claw that you're just like, is it even grabbing her or is she just falling? What's going on?
They're like, oh, it's the girl in the skivvies scene, and then it's like she's underneath the waterfall and this big arm, fake arm, just swoops in, and that's like, and then the like aggressively prolonged shots of the red water for like a quarter mile.
Yeah, goes on for. I'm like, do you guys know how water
there
works?
It is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's still
fine.
going.
It's fine.
And there's another shot. And yep.
So I'm kind of torn between two, but I'm gonna go with the one that I had first, which is the the girl in the cabin.
Oh!
I just think that's such a fun, over the top bit, and she does get pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Just her like little, and her whole face is just like
That's great.
fucking hamburger.
Yeah. I love that.
But I feel like the next one that you have is probably going to be the one that I have, which is probably arguably the best kill of the movie. So
yeah. Well, now I don't know.
Go ahead.
My next one is the perfume girl in the tent.
Oh,
That's my next one.
Surprise!
Yeah.
I do like her.
Her arms are like up behind her, and
what
she's
the fuck is going
horizontal for 3 scenes.
Yeah.
As she gets thrown across.
Swiped back and forth.
Yeah. And then just tossed into the ground, but now her face is chopped up.
She doesn't get pulled into the forest. She doesn't get eaten.
Nope. She's just out
So
there.
this
Livin.
man-eating bear who has a taste for human flesh just wanted a little midnight nibble, I guess.
I'm related. I have to pee super bad.
Okay. Well, go ahead and go. And we'll take a short little break.
You are welcome.
This is what you get for interrupting the podcast.
Just me?
Yeah. It's a punishment. Don't enjoy it. Alright, now that we're back and I gotta do this weird fucking segue, because we're in the middle of a conversation, enjoy your tequila. Go ahead, drink it. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted when he had to pee. Like a little weasel. I think the kid kill is pretty much the greatest kill of the movie. I really do think that is probably the best one.
I agree.
It's so
God.
Like, why would they do that way? Like
the fact that they actually had a scene that they built up to.
Well, it feels so unnecessary given the structure of the film, the way things are going. Like, all right, who is this kid and his mom? And we're just being, oh my god, they're just gonna kill this kid right now.
They immediately smash cut from something else to her face.
Yeah.
And you're like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because you and I, it was my own fault. I just mentioned how I'm like, it's interesting that he doesn't have a family or someone to relate to ground him. And it immediately cut to her face.
And a child in the background.
Pulls out to their property and this child petting a rabbit in the front yard. And I'm like, dude, no fucking way. I'm like, this isn't his family they're trying to introduce right now, because that's just fucked. And it wasn't, obviously. But they pulled this whole little scene that they set up and built tension, and then brought it back in, then brought more tension, and then it turned this whole fucking thing. Yeah. It's just like, god damn it.
I think that scene for me is because, unlike Alex Kittner in Jaws, who's probably, I would wager, is probably somewhere between 9 and 11 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 12, give or take. The little kid in this is probably 4, maybe 5 years old, which is really, really close to the age of my son, and I have a really, really hard time with that sort of stuff. Just the idea of this little innocent little boy just playing around with a rabbit, just being killed for absolutely no reason other than hey, let's raise the stakes, because there's no build up, there's nothing that this doesn't attribute really much to the plot.
This is shock and awe.
Other than to try and bring the park ranger back into the fold because he's been fired, in the scene previous to this. that being said, like, it is so, like, just, like, fucking gut punch, like, we're just doing it, that I'm like, I have to applaud the balls of the filmmakers to go that fucking hard. But
like hard cuts and
there is an element of just, like, tastelessness. It's not super duper bad, but it's borderline that it's just like, all right, that was hardcore, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. And I think my reservations are the thing that made me go, all right, that was pretty intense, for better or worse. You know? So
I agree.
Well, then we're jumping on to our next award, which would have been a really great place for you to decide to go take a piss instead of right in the middle of another award that we were just doing. But, you know, whatever. What the fuck. The Hoagie Award, which is Brian's favorite character or least favorite character. It depends on the movie. I don't even fucking know at this point. Do tell, Brian.
God, I had two, and they're honestly for both reasons. I'm having a hard time rating them, honestly. Obviously, the
mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah.
Is
I figured he was gonna be
our
that.
Hoagie.
Yeah.
Because he's just a piece of shit. Because he's written to be a piece of shit.
Well, the thing that I would argue is that I love Mayor Larry Vaughn in Jaws. I really, really do.
Me too.
Like, I totally 100% see absolutely where he's coming from.
Yeah.
He's just ignorant and he makes bad decisions, but never once do I think he is a bad guy or is has ill intent. Particularly if, you know, and eventually we'll get to this, but in Jaws 2 there is a deleted scene where the select men all get together and vote to fire Chief Brody, and Mayor Vaughn, this is the deleted scene. They should have fucking kept this scene in.
What?
Larry Vaughn is the only person to vote against firing Chief Brody. So I think that is integral to his character.
Damn.
So I think Larry Vaughn is a very, very misunderstood, for all of his faults, and he has many, many faults. I think he's a very misunderstood character.
I agree.
This piece of shit, Kittredge, can go die in a grease fire for all I care. He's just a sack of fuck.
Yeah, he's fucking balls.
Yeah.
He's an obvious hoagie, written hoagie.
Oh yeah.
An unwritten hoagie is fuck. I think her name is Allison. What is the main gal's name?
Yeah.
I literally wrote
like,
main
female
bitch.
presence in this. Yeah. She's pretty terrible. Yeah, it's
awful.
A waste of a character.
She's just it's a waste of time. It's a waste of space. It's a waste of writing. She's not the written in hoagie. She is the earned hoagie of just like, why the fuck are you here? What are you doing? Are you helping this at all? No. Are you moving the storyline? No. Are you fucking things up? Yes. Are you a drag on this already shitty production? Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
I think she probably has to win it, because at least with Kittredge, you're like, all right, cool. Like, you at least serve a purpose, and you are like, we hate you, but we're supposed to hate you. So you're doing your job.
You're a good actor.
Yeah. You're playing the role.
Yeah. I hate you because I'm supposed to hate you. Because you're doing your job correctly. I don't want to hate you because you're doing your job wrong.
Or you shouldn't even exist to begin with.
Yeah, why are you here?
Yeah. That's a great way to look at the Hoagie Award. Why are you here?
So, well, that's my Hoagie Award. There's a written in, and there's a subjected to abuse. version.
Oh, poor Allison. All right. Well, next up is my personal favorite, and you might be wearing a piece of attire that has something to do with this. The Barry Gibb Award, which is the best lookalike.
Yeah, baby. I want to hear yours.
Okay. Well,
you had a better one than I did. This round, you came out swinging. I was like,
all right,
I was reaching.
Hit me with what you got first, then.
Okay, I'll give you. All right, I have a similar one. It's a hard hitter and it's a freebie.
Go ahead.
Hard hitter, Allison, Kitty from That 70s Show.
I see it. I do. Also, I love That 70s Show, so I just appreciate you making that that comp.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm a big fan of like the first 5 seasons. By the time we get to the
fair.
6th season, it starts to get a little redundant for
Criminal.
me.
No. Yeah, that too.
There's that too. God damn it! Why did Danny Masterson have to turn out to be a piece of absolute fucking shit of a human being? Because I love the character Hyde so much. God damn it, fucking.
Really bums me out. I know. Same.
It leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
It does.
Fuck. That is a discussion for a completely different podcast.
All right, so that was my research. This was my buy-in. Kelly Brody. It was
you stupid. It works. I mean, honestly, like I had the same fucking thought about like halfway.
It's just
through
annoying.
I was like, well, there's really not a lot of options. So
I wrote that down 3/4 of the way into the movie, and I was just like, it's just so forced.
Yeah,
I couldn't write it down.
Yeah.
Could not write it down.
Well, like when I had the thought, I was like, man, this is gonna be like another Nope situation where I'm like, oh yeah, Brian, wouldn't it be funny if you said that he looks like the guy from Get Out?
But this is.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just keep that one to myself then, because if you're like, hey, he reminds me of fucking Lord Schreider.
I couldn't remember what scene it was when he had. Oh, it might have been when he was getting fired, actually.
Yeah.
When he had his, like, spirited, like, no, I'm still gonna stick to the law, like, moment where I was just like, I'm gonna write it down for now.
Just for now until I go.
And it was a little tagline. And then I put down yours, but I'd rather you. Because it was...
Well, my boy, Don Strober, who is probably, not surprisingly, my favorite character in this movie because, Quint is my favorite character in Jaws. But, yeah, he would be sporting these, like, white t-shirts that were, like, super tight on him. He's got this, like, slightly curly hair and just this cut of his jawline where I was like, holy shit, that looks like Carmy from The Bear. So my comp is that Don Strober looks a lot like Jeremy Allen White. And I think that if we were ever to get a Grizzly remake, that he would do very well in that part. I'm here for it. I'm calling you out. Come on, Hollywood. Let's make this happen. Yeah? So I think that's that for the Barry Gibb Award, but we're going to wrap up our awards section with No Overtime, which is the best effect in the film.
Yeah, baby.
Brian, did you have a best effect?
I had 3.
You had 3. Jesus fuck.
Nah, I was feeling it.
Yeah, hit me.
Put the effort in. Let's see. Let me go in order of appearance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go tent kill.
Yeah.
The fact that Perfume Lady was just horizontal all of a sudden. With her arms up behind
She
her.
had to be like on a crane or something, just being
What
like,
happened?
I don't know.
That kill.
I have zero.
She was in a tent. She was putting way too much perfume on her neck. And then all of a sudden, the tent rips open. She's afraid. And then she's literally like she's planked.
Yeah.
With her arms up behind her. Like
Zero.
she's holding.
Zero idea what's going on there.
And swinging side to side.
I fucking love it. I love it so much.
So I'm like, wow.
0 cents.
What an effect.
Wouldn't it have been so much cooler that, like, once her corpse dropped, like, it was just her upper torso and then, like, the bottom of her had, like, bitten off?
Sure.
Wouldn't that have, like, made
the whole time she was swinging around, nothing happened to her. But when she hit the ground, her face was completely scarred across.
Well, yeah, it's because, like, you know, the
Right,
bear
the bear
was like,
right, the bear.
fuck you! And then walked away. Christ almighty.
I forgot what we were talking about.
You're talking about the fucking broad being swung. Fuck. Woo! God damn. I think the best effect is the horse getting his head chopped off.
Oh my god.
It's so blatant and so, like, it looks like a real horse's head falling on the ground. But it doesn't make any fucking sense how that would even happen. You fucking get your shit together, Brian. We have a fucking podcast in you fuck. Fuck. God damn it. I can't do this for another fucking 5 minutes. Get it together, bro. You're fucking losing it.
We're good.
Are you sure? Fuck.
Right.
Alright, well, without any further fucking ado, I think it's time we just hop on over to our final thoughts. God damn it, Brian. Shut the fuck up and smile, you son of a bitch! So, B-Rye, give me your final thoughts and ranking out of 10.
Out of 10? 10 being Jaws, 1 being original, or vice versa?
10 being, like, very, very good, and 1 being very, very bad.
Tall order. I'm gonna go 7.5.
Oh, wow.
Feeling generous.
Very.
I like the idea. I like the effort.
Yeah.
And by effort, I mean the fact that you can take someone else's idea and try so hard to manipulate it into something you think is original, and still try a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 7.5.
I appreciate that. I can see that. I agree. I think there's something to be said about believing so hard that this is your original idea and making a movie that maybe you felt so inspired by that you had to put your own spin on it. I mean, I am 1000% guilty of that all the time.
Yeah.
I see shit that I'm like, oh my god, I love that so much. I want to do my own version of that.
Right. Yeah, it's a creative way.
Yeah. That's the old saying from, Sir Isaac Newton, I have seen far standing on the shoulders of giants. Like, that is how I feel about almost every single element of my creativity ever. I see something that I like from somebody else, and I try to do my own version of that. Unfortunately for Grizzly, they did not make it enough of their own, which I think is their failing. I think this movie is so ripe for a remake.
Yep.
This is the type of movie that you remake. It's a movie that can be improved upon. You don't remake something like A Nightmare on Elm Street. You don't remake something like Jaws. You remake something that has promise but didn't quite live up to its potential.
Right.
And I think Grizzly is a prime candidate for that.
Yeah.
I think there's so much gold to be mined from this concept. It is a very, very entertaining watch, if only for its comparison to Jaws. Just to be able to go,
Yeah.
The entire time.
Yeah, you have to have fun with it.
Yeah.
You have to lean into that, though.
100%. Like, if you go into this just expecting, like, a solid movie to stand on its own, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. This is a total knockoff shit show.
Yeah.
In those terms, as far as the movie is concerned, I am going to be very ungenerous and give it a 4 out of 10.
That's fair.
That does not mean I do not like this movie. I'm very, as I said before, tickled by it. It's a very interesting experiment to me.
You're putting it in the right lens, though.
Yeah. I think that there's it very much, like, I like the idea of the film. I even like it as a full-blown ripoff of Jaws, but something like Alligator, I think, does it better in terms of, like, taking the concept and then growing new ideas from it. And even more so, something like Nope, which we've talked about, where I feel like is, like, at its base Jaws, but just takes bigger and grander concepts and makes it so much more than what Jaws is on a base level, that you don't think of it right out the gate.
Yeah. You're not just expanding on the shark. You're expanding on the idea.
Yes.
You know? Like there's a concept behind it.
Yes, 100%. So, in those terms, I think that Grizzly is a very interesting watch. And maybe one day we'll get a new and improved version of it.
I would love that.
Yeah, me too. I
want to watch Grizzly 2.
Maybe we'll get around to it.
It's out, right? It's
I think we have access to it. I'm pretty sure it's on one of the streaming services.
I want to see that shit.
Yeah.
George Clooney, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Who? There are some names.
There was somebody else in it too. That was.
Yeah, there was at least one or two other names in there.
But yeah, maybe we'll
also a bear.
There's gotta be a bear in it, right?
I would hope so.
At least one, maybe two, because it's Grizzly 2. But that is a podcast for another day. For the time being, thank you to all of you who tuned in and listened all the way through. We appreciate you guys. I feel like maybe at a couple of points we might have gone off the rails a little bit, particularly that a little bit ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But this was super duper fun for us, and certainly a long time coming.
Hell yeah.
And you can damn near guarantee that we are going to be covering more very much Jaws ripoffs coming the rest of this year. So until then, I am one of your hosts, Jony Horror, and with me,
Brian Calvert.
What was the thing that we said that we were?
Something about my ass, but I don't
It was
remember.
definitely something about your ass.
Yeah, but it was a good thing.
It is a good ass thing.
Yeah.
Like the best ass thing.
There it is.
We made multiple references to your ass throughout this
all
2
good
episodes. Totally all good. Yeah. We are bidding all you crazy kids farewell and adieu, and just don't go in the water like ever. It's dangerous. And
that's right. And be nice to each other.
Hey, you listen to the show. Good for you. Until next time, we will see you motherfuckers on the flip side. Adios, muchachos! Yeah.
This is when the music plays, right?
Yeah, right about now.
Nice. Fuck yeah. Go team. Man, we're so good at this.
Woo!
Fuck.